Have a seat anywhere you want, over here by Kim.
Okay. She doesn't look like she bites.
Chris, is there anything breakable?
You better talk to her husband.
Anything breakable in there that slid off on one?
Pardon me, Roger?
Is there anything breakable in there that slid off?
Oh, no.
So, Chris, we have,
I can't find nobody
we've had 5 applicants, but we asked one of them not to come because she had only lived here since August, and we have a 1-year residency requirement.
Was that the advertising?
Market
Yeah.
person.
Elizabeth Quinn
Yeah, I think it is.
Frigulia. So we have 4 applicants for 3 positions.
Okay.
And Roger, do you want to start?
Yeah, why in the world do you want to, why this?
You know, that's a good question, and why in the world would anybody want to do this? I think it's the hardest job in Summit County. It's unpaid. It's, the only rewards are knowing that you've served the community. And I would like to do it because I've served long enough as an outsider looking in. I would like to be an insider working within the system.
And you're prepared to give up your watchdog kind of status because I don't think you can do both.
I agree, you know, and no, I would like to be a member of the team. I think the Planning Commission should be and is a team. And I would like to participate in what I think is one of the most critical things that the Planning Commission is going to be doing, and that's working on the development code amendments. I think I'm probably a little bit uniquely qualified to do that because I've been following the whole discussion with regard to the general plan and the important sections of the general plan that were taken out of the general plan once it was decided that it would be advisory. And so I've been following that and working with staff to make sure that what this council directed be done was done, that those important provisions that were taken out of the general plan were incorporated back into the development code.
We hope to act on those today.
I hope so. Because it's an important piece. When the council decided that it would be, that the general plan would only be advisory, that those important provisions get into the code. So I've been following it, and you know, I don't know about the rest of the applicants. The gentleman that has been previously interviewed, you know, I've been to probably hundreds of county council meetings, hundreds of planning commission meetings. And I think my input has been heard. You know, I've succeeded in getting rid of the core, which was a very contentious thing with regard to affordable housing. I think I was instrumental in defeating the Stone Ridge project, along with certain other important people, I think, including this council, that helped us a lot. No, I've been an active participant in community affairs, and I think that this is a critical juncture. The next year, maybe even 2, who knows how fast this process will move along. But I would like to be an inside part of that process.
My question that I typically ask is, what skill sets do you feel like you'll be able to bring to the group to help them accomplish their goals?
Good question. As a lawyer, I think that the development code is a legal document. I think even though there's one lawyer on the commission already, it won't hurt to have another one who has also been a activist in the community. So I'm familiar with the current development code. I'm familiar with the portions of the general plan that are now going to be put into the development code, hopefully today. I think I bring a good perspective to the Planning Commission that it's going to need in the next 6 months to a year as it begins the process of amending the development code.
And what perspective, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
My perspective is this, that the development code has two aspects to it. One is the protection of the community, and the other is to allow businesses, people with real estate, to develop their properties in accordance with that development code. And I think that I've proven in the past that I can look at both those perspectives and honor both of those perspectives.
Claudia?
I don't have any questions.
David?
Chris, you used the term activist several times in your talk here today. I guess I've only known you for about 5.5 years. But in that 5.5 years, as you sit in this chair today, do you think you have changed philosophically in trying to resolve some things in the community, and if so, how do you think you've changed?
Well, believe it or not, Dave, I think I've mellowed. I've lived here 13 years now, and I see the need for looking at the broad picture to protect this community and to help it with what I would consider sustainable growth that is in keeping with the philosophy of this community. I come from a background, Dave, where I represented developers. I represented the second largest mall developer in the country at one time. And I've represented banks and businesses. As part of this community, I feel such strong ties now to protect our community. But at the same time, I understand what the community needs, especially, and we have two aspects of this community, the basin and the east side. I think the east side has different needs than what the basin has. And the basin, I think, is getting to the point of being built out, where we need to be very circumspect in what we do in the basin in the future. Whereas on the east side, I think there are differing opinions as to what the east side needs. But I think I will bring a perspective to the Planning Commission that it can use.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that background.
Chris, you've been a pretty vocal and sometimes harsh critic of staff, both planning and legal and manager, and I'm not finding fault. I'm just trying to be matter of fact about it, and maybe if someone's on the council at times, which is all healthy. You've also, as you've said, been an activist, mainly on the stop growth side, or I'll call them anti-property rights side. How do you You know, when you sit on a body like county council or planning commission, where it's a deliberative body where you have to sometimes check your biases at the door, and you can't be an advocate for your own biases, but you have to be more dispassionate, and you have to find consensus and build and deal in the realm of compromise. It's not the ideal world that you can be black or white when you're an advocate. You know, you see one color. But when you're on the other side of the table, you have to recognize that there are two sides. How would all that work? That's the big question for me. Is we have right now a very good mix on the planning commission of some smart people from disparate backgrounds that communicate well with each other and that are able to do a good job. That's my opinion of the commission. I think that's where everyone else feels. So, how do you fit into that?
Well, I think that you have to put aside your biases. We all come to the table with biases based upon our family history, our work history, our work ethic, where we lived in the past and where we live now. So I don't think that biases have any place at the table when you're talking about either the county council or the planning commission. Subliminally, it's probably hard to completely divorce yourself of your biases. But I think it's important to do so and to do your best to do so. And I would do that. I've been able to do it in the past. I've sat on boards where people had biases, and you had to put them aside in order to reach consensus. You know, in all government, you have to reach consensus, and you cannot be contentious and be able to do that. So, and I feel I can do that. I'm willing to do it.
Would you think that you'd have a different tone and tenor being on the inside than on the outside?
I would have to, because on the outside I've had a pretty contentious tenor when I needed to. When I needed to get a point across and get the county council to do things like reject the Stone Ridge project, sure. It was the role of an advocate for my neighborhood. I became an advocate.
I don't think you were contentious that night.
Oh, I wasn't.
Oh, come on.
You know I wasn't.
You have to keep going with it.
You know, and I was able to get the county council on a 4-1 vote, right, David?
You're taking an awful lot of credit there, Chris. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe I don't deserve the credit.
You
but-
don't.
But, okay, well, you know, we went into that, let's go into that Stone Ridge. We went into that Stone Ridge meeting with a planning commission recommendation to approve it. And it wasn't easy to persuade the council to reject the proposal.
I think what Claudia's trying to say is that there were many voices. You were obviously a prominent one.
I was,
And there were lots of factors. No. Anyway.
Chris got what I was saying.
Okay. Well, so I think what we need to do is we will ponder this. We got one other person, you know, Greg Lawson, who is probably in the halls, we hope.
He mistakenly went to Richmond's building, so he should be here any minute.
Glad you made the executive decision to bring you on so beforehand. You'd still be waiting and we'd be behind now. Is there anything more you'd like to tell us while we wait?
well, I know that there's going to be a lot of voices against appointing me. And that's okay, because my history is such that, you know, on this road, I've probably alienated some people in the positions that I've had to take as an advocate for my community, for this community. And I just hope you can put that aside and look objectively at the candidates. And which candidate is going to give the Planning Commission a voice and an understanding of what's going to be happening in the next 6 months to 1 year. So, I know there will be voices against appointing me, and that's okay. But I think that if you look at it objectively, I'm a reasonable candidate for this position.
I just want to say, I think, while I haven't always agreed with you, and I've been pretty candid when I haven't, there have been things you've brought to light that have been helpful, so I've appreciated your involvement over, in the various, in some of those hundreds of meetings. I've been in attendance at a few, so I appreciate that. I wish we had more people involved. You pay the price to get involved. There's a lot of people that don't, they sit home and then they complain later.
Well, and I appreciate your candor earlier and now, because we don't always agree, and I don't always agree with what this council does. But you should be able to tolerate voices that disagree.
Absolutely.
And
It'd be very boring if we all were singing the same tune, wouldn't that be?
not only would it be boring, but I think it would be counterproductive.
Yeah.
We need differing ideas and differing voices, differing opinions.
And nobody has a corner on it,
They certainly don't.
so we need,
I've been wrong in the past, but I tell you, I just made a list of the things that I've been more right on and that this council has agreed with in the end, with regard to the positions that I've advocated.
I'm going to tell you, I've seen you probably first noticed you during Stone Ridge. And I wasn't on the council during that time, but I was at the meeting. And I found your research of the issues and your presentation of the issues to be excellent. And I personally have never been offended by anything brought up to the council. And I've appreciated the research that you've done and the suggestions that you made. I think you have a good mind and a great analysis, so I got no axe to grind with you. I appreciate that, regardless of whether we appoint you to the planning commission or not, I hope to stay active because you do bring a good perspective. You bring a well thought out perspective. We may or may not agree with you every time, and when we don't agree with you, we're usually not shy about saying we don't agree with you. But I do appreciate that you are involved, and I do appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you for the comment, and
why don't we leave it at that?
Thanks,
a lot, Chris.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, good to see you. Sorry
Thanks
we
for taking the time.
Sorry we weren't doing this in Richmond's building.
That's okay.
That's another discussion.
That's another discussion, isn't it?
Well,
Nice to see you.